Calling the meeting to order of the Southborough Zoning Board of Appeals for Wednesday, August 12th, 2026. We have a couple items on our agenda this evening. Both of them have requested to be continued until our next hearing. The first item is 42 Central Street, Southborough Historical Society appeal. They have in writing requested to continue to our next meeting, which is in September. I don't think we have anybody here in person to discuss, but maybe we have somebody on Zoom.
Yeah. All right, Eric, I'm going to move you over, and then David, I'm going to read the public hearing notice to open the hearing.
Okay.
So I'm moving Eric over. The Board of Appeals of the Town of Southborough will hold a public hearing at the McCullough Hearing Room, 17 Common Street, Wednesday, August 12th, 2026 at 7 o'clock p.m. with regard to the petitions of Southborough Historical Society, 40 to 42 Central Street, Southborough, Mass., map 38, lots 44 and 45. The petitioner is seeking an appeal of the building commissioner's denial of a certificate of occupancy and notice of zoning violation dated May 20th, 2026. Property is located in the Residence B zoning district, and relief is requested under Section 174-10J and Section 174-25A1. All
right. So for the applicant or the petitioner, we have Eric. Eric, if you could name and address first.
Yes, Eric Russell from Harrington Heap. I represent the Southborough Historical Society.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just here tonight requesting a continuance of the appeal. As you know, there was a violation notice issued for the society's use of the building. This is kind of tied up with both some building code and zoning issues, and we appealed this to the State Building Code Board of Appeals, which had a hearing on July 21st and made a determination that the certificate of occupancy should issue following the completion of some work. The society's been working to that. It relates to some paving of a handicapped parking space. The date that they had the work scheduled to be completed was one of the days we had torrential rain, so they were unable to complete it. So right now, I actually don't have a copy of the opinion from the Building Code Board of Appeals, so we're waiting for that. I don't know if the town's received a copy yet, but I've been unable to get one from the appeals board yet. And we're waiting to complete that work as well, which unfortunately the contractor has a full schedule, and it's been difficult to get them back out since they missed that date. So at this point, I think it would be helpful to have a continuance while we work to resolve this. Hopefully an appeal just won't be necessary if we're able to work through all of this.
Okay. And so is the request to continue to our next hearing date in September?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And what date do we have in September?
We have September 16th right now.
September 16th, okay. Okay, all right. So you think that's sufficient time? That gives you a little over a month?
I think so, yeah. And also, it's my understanding that the building commissioner was not, that he's on vacation right now and is not able to join. We do have a good working relationship with him, so I think it'd be helpful, to have him around. It's, I guess, the other reason for asking for continuance. Okay. Because it'd be great to have his input on this as well, so we have the full story here.
Okay. All right, very good. If we're going to continue it, then I think we obviously won't have any discussion on that. Since you requested it, I'm going to say we probably want it for the 16th at 7 p.m.
Sure.
I don't know, unless we don't have anything else already.
No, we have no new applications for September.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, I think we need a motion to continue the hearing to September 16th at 7 p.m.
I make a motion to continue the hearing to September 16th
All right.
at 7 p.m.
Do you have a second?
Sure, I'll second that.
All right. Motion to continue to September 16th at 7 p.m. has been made with a second. All in favor, respond with aye. Opposed, nay. Doris?
Aye.
Doug? Aye. Jamie?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Okay, great. Thanks very much. We'll see you.
Thank you very much.
in
Have a good
September.
night.
Yep, thank you.
And just on a procedural note for the board, because it is an appeal, we have 100 days from the date of filing to render a decision. So Eric and Michael have provided us with a 30-day extension to that
Okay.
date, and that's been filed with the town clerk as well.
Great. Okay. All right, so the next item we have on our agenda is at 7:15. So we have other business we could take care of before then. We do have time. The first item is reorganization of the board. We need to elect a new chair and clerk, as we do after June 30th of every year. So we probably have time for that. I don't know if there's any discussion about who would like to be chair, if they're willing to take the position. I won't argue it, but I'm also willing to do one more year.
Yay.
Okay. Let's see how you feel. So why don't we take that one up first? We just need
Make a motion.
a motion.
So I'll make a motion for you to continue as chairman for another year.
Second.
All right. Motion for myself to be the chair for another, for the next term, as we made with a second. All in favor, respond with aye. Opposed, nay. Doris?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
And I'm going to abstain. So the other position currently occupied by Mike Robbins, who's not here to defend himself, is clerk. Mike, in my opinion, does a very good job. So I don't know if there's any, again, I don't know if there's any strong feeling that somebody else would like to be clerk, but otherwise we'll, take a motion on Mike to be, actually, I'll make the motion for Mike to be clerk for the next term as well.
I'll second that.
Okay? Motion to keep Mike Robbins as the clerk for the board has been made with a second. All in favor, respond with aye. Opposed, nay. Doris?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
And Williams, aye. Okay. Now, there's nothing else to do regarding the reorganization of the board, right? There's
Just
just
those
those
two.
two. Okay. Now, the two-family zoning bylaw, I think might take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
On the meeting minutes, I took a look, I made some notes because there's a couple minor things. So, in general, they were very accurate. For the June 10th meeting, page 2, in paragraph 3, sort of in the middle, you say, things, and I think you meant things. Yeah, there you go, things.
Oh.
There you
I
go.
caught that.
Okay.
Yeah, I caught that too.
Nice, thank you.
So
I'll
that,
check and catch that.
so that was all I had for June 10th. But for July 15th, if you look at where we had the hearing on 21 Coslin, the heading actually says 21 Walker Street. So there's,
I caught that, yeah.
Oh, you're right, okay.
yeah, I was like, wait a minute, didn't we do this?
That's my copy and paste.
before? Yes,
Sorry.
yeah. But otherwise, to me, they're really good. Was it?
I had one tiny comment when you're done.
Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, I caught the think, and I also caught the header problem on the July notes. On page 3, where we're talking about the two-family zoning bylaw, and about 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth line down, noting none, I don't know if I said that or I didn't say that, but it really is few or close to none, because Framingham has it, which really isn't a comparable town. They have a 2-year limit. Maybe that's the origin of how it got into our code, I don't know. But none is not accurate.
Okay.
None of that goes into this meeting's notes or last meeting modification, or if you want to go through the,
Okay.
you know, the video.
You're good with very few instead of none?
Yeah, I like that. That's perfect, Dave.
Okay, well,
That's why
None
you're,
sounds so fine.
that's why
I'm
you're
sure
chairman.
somewhere in Massachusetts.
no, it's that simple.
Okay, so those are in there, thank you.
Did anybody else have any concerns or find anything with the meeting minutes?
I have missed both those, so I don't know, I
Okay.
abstained from everything.
Okay. So, yeah, well, we will need to, sorry.
You're good.
We should take them separately. So for the June 10th, 2026 meeting minutes, I make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes as amended.
I'll second that.
All right? Motion to approve as amended has been made with a second. All in favor, respond with aye. Opposed, nay. Doris?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
And Jamie, you abstain?
Abstain.
Yep, and I for Williams. Okay, the other meeting was July 15th, and I think we're in the same position. I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes for July 15th, 2026 as amended.
I'll second that.
All right? Motion to approve the minutes have been made with a second. All in favor, respond with aye. Opposed, nay. Doris?
Aye.
Doug?
I'm abstaining, I was not at the meeting.
Okay. Jamie?
Abstain.
Yep. Paul?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Okay. Meeting minutes have been taken care of. We are at 7:12. Administrative updates, upcoming schedule. So we have September 16th.
Mhm.
And what do we have? And these two are continuing. Is there anything in addition to that?
The only other thing that's in addition to that is if you guys want to host another public forum on the two-family bylaw.
Okay.
Just to give another
Okay.
opportunity for people to attend.
Right.
So,
okay.
but no other hearings.
Okay. And what is our scheduled date in October?
Scheduled date in October is the 21st, so I did want to confirm that with you guys.
Say that what day?
October 21st
As far
Is
as
what?
is our October meeting.
I'm gonna try, I'm overseas.
It's not ideal for me, but I can make it because I'm leaving early the next morning for Trevor. But I can make it, should I need to.
I definitely can't physically make it, as far as I know with my plans, but I usually attend them, bearing I get internet. But I'm in Armenia, I think, is where I am.
I mean, I think it's fine with me, as far as I can tell.
it should be fine.
Yeah, 21st is fine for me.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, so we should be good for that.
Yeah, and I'll double check as it gets closer to, and if we think we won't have a quorum, then we can reschedule.
Okay.
Doris, was it the September 16th meeting that you're not available? You're traveling, right, for that one?
Yeah, I'm really gonna, once every 2 years I miss a meeting. It's my 40th anniversary with my husband. We're just together, taking 10 days together in the middle of the country. So, you know,
Good.
is there some bearing reason I have to make that meeting?
I don't, when is
I don't think
it?
so.
September 16th?
There's nothing on the agenda, and it doesn't, the planning meeting that's coming up for this bylaw, I should be able to do it remotely. I'm
Okay,
just, you know, with my family quite a bit over the next month or two,
okay.
but I should be able to come in remotely.
Okay. I think
The
that's.
planning meeting on those
I
two
think we
families.
should, I think we should be okay, because, I mean, if we have Mike and Doug, then
Yeah.
we should have a full board.
But not the
You said you could
16th,
make it,
even if
yeah.
there was an open
16th, I'm
forum.
good.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, so we'll leave
Okay.
it at
Yeah,
that.
I won't make it. You all right?
okay.
Perfect.
All right, now I have 7:15. So the hearing we have on the agenda is for 0 Northborough Road, Bartolini Properties, LLC special permit. This is the property kind of surrounded by MWRA property. They have requested to continue the hearing as well. I don't know if we have anybody, we don't have anybody here. I don't know if we have anybody online that wants to talk about it. And if not, we can just take a vote.
Is it continue to the 16th also, or?
Yes.
Same thing. So we would continue to the 16th at 7:15. But, so we don't have anybody here.
So I think Mike is listening, but Mike, if you wanted to speak, go ahead and raise your hand and I'll move you over. If not, we can do the vote. I'm not seeing any hands. So.
Yeah, I'm going to take that as a go-ahead. All right. I make a motion that we continue the public hearing for 0 Northborough Road off to September 16th at 7:15 PM.
Second.
All right. Motion to move the hearing has been made to September 16th with a second. All in favor, respond with aye. Opposed, nay. Doris?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
And Williams, aye. Okay, so that, all right, now we have the public forum at 7:30, so we can't get to that.
I mean, I know Doris was at the select board meeting last night, and if we wanted to talk a little bit of background around it,
Sure.
if you guys want to do that leading up to the public forum, but it's up to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh, I
say,
feel bad. We approved our meeting minutes, but I forgot something about, it doesn't matter. We'll cover it right now. Okay.
what's,
So the, yeah.
yeah, go ahead, what's your update on the two-family zoning bylaw, Doris?
So we're just going to get there. Select board had no discussion points on it, mentioned it in the meeting, and then that moves forward to planning. What I don't know, Laura, is if it's, we have our open forum tonight, of course, but whether they've received the copy of the draft over at planning. I know select board got it. It was in the meeting packet.
Yes, they did receive it. I sent it to planning board at the same time that I sent it to the select board. And Vanessa
Okay.
sent an email to the planning board this morning, just confirming the vote
Okay.
from the select board.
Right, so there's no amendments, we'll just go to planning, and of course, our open forum tonight, and move forward with what we have, but we certainly could take a step back and discuss how we got where we're at. We approved this last meeting, this draft that went over to planning and the draft that went over to the select board. We talked internally. It was brought up by a member of the public when we were doing our ADU warrant, modification ADU warrant at town meeting last spring. And we discussed that with even the upcoming changes, we do not have a definition for two-family homes in the zoning code. With some other things that are down the road, such as maybe parking, they've asked maybe one look at parking. I think Lisa Braccio had asked that, and also look at short-term rentals. We have in our, program to take a look at the multi-unit. But what brought it to the forefront was one of the open hearings, that why do we have a line in the code that says there's a 2-year wait period? So the warrant article removes that. The warrant article defines two-family housing for the town, and it also stretches across all the different it looks like a lot, like the same with the ADU, but we need to touch upon each zoning district that the removal of that line item, total removal, no longer applies. So that's the intent of it, removal of the 2-year wait period, essentially status quo across all the districts, and putting in a definition. You will still need a special permit, and we have not acted on adding more conditions. We believe that there is no square footage addition, correct me, Lara, that you, a 15,000 square foot home minimum, that's not in this draft
No,
that we have.
no, there's no square footage.
So we have, right, so it would just be the normal frontage, continuity with the neighborhood. Also, it did not come up at the select board meeting last evening, but in the background of what's going on at the state level, there is some by right legislation that's that's moving through the legislature right now to take two-family housing across the state. Now, you can certainly correct me because I haven't seen the legislation or draft legislation, but to make that by right like the ADU. And that's not the intent of this change of bylaw. Those seeking two-family housing as it stands now in the draft would still need to come from special permit. That's my update. If we get to, that's my update.
Okay.
Kind of just moving forward. I'm hoping it'll be well received by planning and enough open forum with input that'll continue going through the process to make it to some type of vote in October.
Okay. Any questions or discussion from the board? I really don't have anything. I don't know if anybody else has anything they want to ask. John Bartolini. Okay, I was going to say this is the time in the meeting where I'm expecting Jack Bartolini is going to weigh in and tell me why they had the 2-year waiting period. So.
Well, the board, if you recall last meeting, it's in the meeting notes, Dave,
Yeah.
the board says, and why is that in the
Right.
bylaw? And we're all kind of,
Right.
so there was a
But-
good sense of why,
Yeah.
why.
But did Jack raise his hand, or there we go.
Yes. Oh, no, he keeps raising it and then,
Okay.
so let me
Bring him in.
see. Okay. Jack, if you do want to speak, you can do that.
Hear me?
Yes.
Now we can.
Yes.
Great. No, I'm glad to get rid of the 2-year bylaw. I'm glad to get rid of all this stuff. It makes perfectly sense. But I have a simple question that I think I know the answer, but I'm not 100% sure. So I used the old bylaw on Flag Road, and I built houses, and then after 2 years, after many years actually, but after 2 years, I tore the garages down or rehabbed the garages into another unit. And I'm in an industrial zone. So here's the question. Back then, and I think it's in a two-family dwelling, it says is a detached residential building. Then we go down to the industrial district, and it says must meet the minimum lot size for that zoning district. So when you go to the book, they have two sizes for industrial zone. And one is residential, falls under RB. The other is minimum lot area is 1 acre with 200 feet of frontage. I don't want to make my property on Flag Road pre-existing non-conforming. I think what you're trying to do is keep it as is, just streamline it a little bit. And where it says residential in the two-family dwelling, on a detached residential, that the building inspector would take this as a residential dwelling and it would fall under the RB. Am I understanding that properly, and is that what your intention is?
Doris, you want to address that? You're on mute. You're still on mute, Doris.
Can you hear me now?
Now we
I
can.
got a little IT, I got a little IT challenge. So, just to take a step back, somewhat related, two-family can have, I don't want to oversimplify this, like, two-family can have an ADU on it. Am I saying that correctly?
Okay.
And so you couldn't have two ADUs. There's up to 1,200 square feet under the new ADU. So there was some intention to be clear with that in the definition. Just to sort of set that out there. I don't understand fully your circumstances, so it's in RB, and explain to me, so I hear what you're saying, but explain to me what you did, again, more slowly, Jack. So you have a duplex that you did many years later on Flag Road, so you have two residential properties, and you're concerned that because those residences were built in an industrial zone, but they're RB, what's the zone for them?
Under the industrial zone, and I believe it's in several other zones too, when you do residential in an industrial zone, it falls under RB. So it has a switch. And I think you're trying to keep everything the same. You're just trying to get rid of the 2-year. So, I mean.
Absolutely trying to get rid of the 2-year, that's the intention. And to be fair about to put the definition in, because it's really not clear that you can put an ADU, one ADU on a two-family, can't put two ADUs. So it seals that hole.
I'm not talking about an ADU. I'm talking about
Okay.
a two-family dwelling. I'm talking
In an
about
RB.
in an industrial zone.
So the intent is not to change any of the
No.
minimum
No.
size, the size or frontage requirements, right? That's what you're asking, Jack.
Well, yeah, because I've got my zoning book in front of me. Everything is great, but then when you read your new bylaw, and it says, a two-family dwelling on a lot with a minimum of lot that meets the minimum lot size for the zoning district. I think the building inspector would look at this and says, oh, two-family residential. Therefore, instead of E under development standards in industrial, he would flip and he would go to E number 6, which is residential dwellings in the industrial district fall under 25,000 square feet. This has been in the zoning since, I think, 1955. It's been there a long time.
Yeah.
So your concern is the conflict in the language where, is it following, because you said it defaults to RB, and the question
I'm
is,
concerned
is it
that
RB or industrial?
I'm concerned that and maybe I should ask the building inspector too, because I think you have a detached residential building, so it's clear that you meant two families to be residential. And maybe everybody else understands this, but a minimum lot size for the zoning district. And I think if you take residential and you turn the page, you come up with E number 6, which is residential dwellings, and they are RB, or 25,000 square foot zone. So they fall under the RB district. Is anybody else reading that way, or you haven't thought about it?
I haven't thought about it because we did not put any further or increase any lot sizing or change any lot sizes, and it's just the intent to remove the one line. So it's
Well,
always
that's
been
the
that.
case,
So
probably I'm worried about nothing.
possibly no, but I take all these things seriously. So what I can do is think about it, and I will think about that and cross over the code. But why would that? Or is it one of those
Why
things?
would
Was
we
it always
do that?
wrong? You know, was it always wrong? Is how we say. Correct it later. Was it always? If someone took that out. So you got 25,000 square feet. Yeah. I get it.
Well, I mean, that's been the standard for years. So,
No, I understand. Yeah.
Jack, Laura has something she wanted to ask you.
Hi,
Yeah.
Jack. Is your concern that those properties on Flag Road are going to be made pre-existing non-conforming if this goes into effect? Or did they already comply with the RB district standards because?
no, I already comply, and I
Okay.
comply with the old bylaw that you were changing. So I guess, I don't think, I guess I've got to ask a few other people that are enforcing them. The building inspector would probably be one. I just wanted to make sure that this, in fact, you do recognize that some of these areas revert back to RB when you do residential. And it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to go crazy. A lot of, if you look at Flag Road, the industrial zone goes back 750 feet, but, you know, for the last 500 feet of it is all residential. There's no, everybody's been residential. So it never got developed into industrial. So they allow you to do this because it intertwines with residential areas. So it makes sense. Based on Doris saying that they want to keep it the same, I would assume that it's going to be the same.
Yeah.
I don't know when the building inspector gets back, but I can ask him how he reads.
You want to go ahead with what your point was?
So I think in reading it, I don't think there's a conflict in the dimensional standards because the new bylaw defaults to the dimensional standards for each district. And if you have a residential building in an industrial district, it will default to that E6. So it won't actually change any dimensional regulations, but I am more than happy to confirm that with the building commissioner too, if everybody would feel comfortable with that.
All right, I mean, I think you're right, Laura, but I wanted to ask a question. At first, I didn't see I read it quick and I didn't see the two-family say residential. And then when I read it the second and third time, I said, oh, I think I understand this now. I mean, this is a good zoning bylaw. This is a real good use for the town of Southborough. And when I did this, I got the special permit through the ZBA, and I went to the planning board, and like I said, I did this 4 or 5 times, and not once did I meet any pushback from any of the boards or any of the neighbors for that matter. It was welcomed, and I think I spent 10 minutes with the planning board and on to the ZBA when all these things were done. The biggest problem was I had to wait 2 years and tear things down and put things back up. So I think this is a great move.
Do you have any history as to why that 2-year rule was put in place, Joe?
I do. They didn't want builders building duplexes.
Okay.
So they figured, well, a builder's not going to hang around for 2 years.
Okay.
So what happened was it just, that's what they did. I mean, we've done a lot of things to prevent housing more than promote housing. So, and it's a shame, and I'm glad to see things changing on the town front. I'm glad to see things changing at the state level, because we certainly need the housing, and it's from top to bottom.
Agreed.
I mean,
Well, we need the housing, and it would be good, it's probably good to be a little ahead of the state, so there's something on the books. And what we, as opposed to, we're sort of filling in. It's good, the ADU legislative change is probably good, but we're backtracking on parking, short-term rentals, and they're being looked at. I know they're being looked at across the board. So no, I think it's a positive change. Laura, can we know that for sure on the building inspector? It's important. Mostly don't want to go backwards, so that when I go to planning, I think I'm going remote to planning when the next planning meeting's up. Because someone else is going to ask that, and I'll just guess Jack will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't want to be there if I don't have to,
Wow.
and I don't want to.
Okay, that's what I would.
Stuff that I really like. So I'm thinking I'd ask the question tonight before it goes to town meeting.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, the simplest questions sometimes get really, really
yeah.
discussed to death and turned around.
But you'll follow up with Mark on that?
He's on vacation this week, so when he gets back next week, I'll follow up and I will have, I don't know if that will give us enough time to get an answer on it before the planning board discussion on the 17th. But definitely by the time we go into public hearings, we'll have an answer. So I will try to get an answer for Monday, but I don't know.
Okay.
Well, this is
All right, thanks, Jack.
related, thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
Okay, the scheduling thing on this, I'm gonna make town meeting, I'd like to have a backup. I'm almost definitely not gonna be able to make the Sunday town meeting. If it ran over to the next day, I'm not gonna be able to
It's a
make it.
Saturday, isn't it?
So,
Yeah, it should be on a Saturday, Doris. I don't think it's on a Sunday. It's a Saturday.
no, but I know it's gonna get on the Saturday, I'm going for the Saturday, but if it ran over, I'm not available on Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a big warrant coming up, I think it'll be
Yeah,
quick.
and we worked pretty well in the spring, so I would be optimistic on,
It did, I was surprised,
yeah.
I was surprised how well that worked, but,
All right.
Okay.
So, all right, we do have on the agenda a public forum on it, so, which I haven't hosted before, I'm not sure what to do, but I think we just want to invite people to, come up and ask questions or discuss it, whatever they'd like. I would just ask that you give me your name and address and in the normal way. But and then I think we're free to discuss with anything related to the proposed two-family dwelling bylaw.
Hi, Debbie Demiria, 58 Flag Road, member of the planning board, but speaking as a private citizen. So thanks for bringing this forward. Doris and I met a long time ago when we were first mapping out ADUs, and we've really come a long way, and thanks to the Zoning Board of Appeals for really carrying the torch to get more housing in town. I have some questions. I have to admit, I haven't given it as much thought as I'd like, so what struck me today was that I think duplexes are ADUs. I think they're a subset, especially the way that they're defined by either side by side or divided horizontally in various which ways. They have to obey the setbacks and the zoning and parking of the underlying zoning. I think we're talking about a single lot, of course. And I just was wondering if I'm missing something, or if you can kind of explain how you think about the two-family dwelling, how it's different than what a person or family can do right now on a property that wanted to do an ADU that will look exactly like what this bylaw describes.
So, Laura, there's a piece of this, if you could chime in on it. So, what we're trying to, of course, look at this, we're trying to take one line out of the code. It's always been there, and there's never been a definition. So now's the time, it's great, Deb, now's the time. What's the definition of a two-family house? There are building standard differences between an ADU, and Laura's going, because we have chatted about this, an ADU and a duplex, and a two-family. And I'm going to go over my construction head, but it has a lot to do with fire and safety and even more entrances. I see that as two full. It also exceeds. So think of the option, Deb. You can put an ADU in, but you're going to be limited to the 1,200 square feet. It's no longer a percentage. You're going to be limited, and a two-family could be two on a single lot. It could be 220 500 square foot homes, basically.
But
There's
Doris,
a difference.
in that example, this isn't by right. What you've got here describes a special permit for this.
It does, right, it's not by right.
But you can make an ADU by right and basically double the size of your home. You know, so you can do a lot of things to get a duplex as an ADU, but right now there's actually a limitation that you'd have to do everything, even if you wanted to put on a very small, kind of make it into a, you know, a smaller addition or something to make your two-family dwelling. So I guess I'm having
Right.
trouble understanding if a person or family wants to have a duplex, you know, why wouldn't they just follow the ADU? Of course, they get up to 1,200 by right in town, but let's say they want to
Right.
go 1,500. They'd have to go for a special permit for 1,500, where they wouldn't under an ADU.
Well, they
So-
wouldn't have it, they'd have a 2-year limit, and they would have to go for a special permit in all cases over the 2 years to go over 12. There's no avenue to put an ADU on if it's over 1,200. I think
Okay.
I said that correctly. And to kind of where that birth in this 2-year limit is very separate from the birth of this, there were instances where the called accessory dwelling units at the time, leaned towards a percentage. We're not using those percentages, if you recall. So big houses got bigger apartments, and smaller houses got smaller apartments. And then when the 900 square feet came in, they ran into the percentage problem. They didn't get any apartments at all. So the ADU solves by right, not by special permit, and the multi-family, two-family, because there's no multi-family, stays in special permit with multi-family. But they can also have an ADU.
A quick question for you, for the board. Did the Attorney General approve the, our warrant article for the 1,200 square feet by right?
They have not yet. They have a deadline of August 29th.
Okay.
But in speaking with Jay Tallerman, he seems to think that they will approve it. But hopefully by the end of the month, we should have a
Okay, that's
definitive
good.
answer on that.
All right, so another question I had is there, so if on the duplex side, there's no size limit? Is that correct? That's one difference between the ADUs and the duplex. Okay. So am I
It was always that case.
Yeah, okay.
You had to wait 2 years.
And
That was
okay.
always that case.
And can there be multiple owners? Or, I mean, on the ADU side, you can have only one lot, one owner. And so in here, I don't see anything written that precludes that, which I think,
I don't know if you actually, so one lot, so you default to the ADU,
yeah,
and only one of the 2 units gets the ADU. Only one ADU for that lot. Now, I'm open to say, we have been looking into it, and you can only, so I think it's kind of moot is the word.
so
You can only
if,
get one ADU
Right.
for a duplex.
so in
Now, you
this,
can put people in there, there's no limit on the people. It's the fact that you're kind of doing a structural change that makes it an ADU. Typically, the kitchen goes in, and it's all the other parameters. It's got to be able to take the septic.
okay, so
and
on,
also-
on the ADU side, because you have an owner, the owner decides to put in an ADU, then that ADU is owned by the owner. There can only be one owner on the lot and the deed, right? So I'm just wondering, in this scenario, is that also the case? Because I thought I had seen townhouse, and I actually don't really understand how a townhouse works, but is it the same that you would have one owner on a lot? So somebody has to own the land. If you have a townhouse, I'm using townhouse because it's in the sort of the preamble part that you have here in the red line version, but if you have a townhouse,
Yeah.
does that mean you have renters, or can somebody purchase that so that you have 2 owners on a lot? I'm just curious about like how that plays out. I actually don't know the definition of townhouse. To be honest, I don't know if that means it's a rental Or does that mean it's an
I get what
owner?
you're asking. understand what you're
I
asking.
actually have the
Okay.
same question thought.
I thought I read.
I follow with the ADU that
condo,
it's one,
and it's not
Right.
it's one ownership. It's not subdivided, it's not condominiumized,
Right.
it's just,
Right. It's one
I am not 100% sure
It's a
If
great question.
if a two-family is two separate
Yeah.
ownerships, or
Right.
is it, or
I
does
think
someone
it-
own the whole thing and
Right.
can have two,
I-
like you said, then it's just a rental situation.
I
I think you're right that it would have to be subdivided if it was two owners, and I don't
Or
think
you'd
that's.
have to
like-
have, like, you'd have to condoize it, and there need to be condo
Yeah.
documents and
Yeah.
things like that that need to go through the assessor, but I can get more information on
Yeah,
that.
that I'm not sure of.
Yeah, is there a reason, well, so actually, it doesn't say condo, it says townhouse, which again, I'm not really sure what that means, but is there a I think that's a little bit problematic, because I think, just being part of the hearings and going through the hearings on ADUs, some of the comments that I heard had to do with, the fear of lack of ownership, or not knowing, that not having one person to go to in case there's an issue with the neighbors, or something like that. And so if the word townhouse doesn't need to be in here to define it, I think I'm just gonna say, I think it's a little bit less problematic if you take out the word townhouse, because I think it does have a connotation that means somebody else could own it or rent it, and I'm not sure that's in the spirit of what a two-family dwelling's all about. Maybe it could be rented. I mean, this is the part I haven't really thought through. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Deb, so what you're focusing on is just solely putting effort into the definition more.
Yeah.
That's the focus here?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing, okay? I mean, there's so many things you could call it, but leaving it open to family?
Yeah, and then I guess the other thing is it a subcategory of an ADU? So no, it's not.
No, I
No.
think there's different definitions under the building code
And that's because-
and the state.
Okay.
The state has a very specific definition for an ADU, and it has to be accessory to a principal dwelling. So I see what you mean, where there's some overlap and they could look really similar.
Yeah.
But there is, I think, don't know the word I'm trying to come up with. But
Distinct.
there's a distinction between the
Yeah.
two. And then just another note, if I can, is the definition where we have townhouse and then later on we have duplex. Those
Yeah.
came from Jay Tallerman and are more to do with the layout of the structure versus ownership. So he put in that townhouse would be side by side, and then a duplex is kind of divided horizontally, if that makes sense. Because you have some two families that you have upper and lower, and then you have others that are left and right. So,
Yeah, I can imagine there might be some cookie cutter situations where you have a common walk-in area and then stairs, and then it doesn't fall into either of these. So I kind of find that a little bit problematic. But I did want to ask just one more question. So is anybody following what's going on with the state, with the two-family by right? I think it went into committee and it's going to be a long time, but I haven't really been following it.
Yeah.
Or any intel
Yeah,
on what
I
it's
followed
going to
it to the extent was when are they gonna get to it?
be? Oh,
And it made it sound it's in committee, we're gonna get back to it in a week, and that was 4 weeks ago. So,
do we
I don't
know
know
what
what
it's
the timing is.
Do we know what they're thinking in terms of, I haven't read Mass Municipal Law or anything, do they know what they might be in there? Does this align at all with what we think that where the state is going?
so the state is actually proposing, if that bill were to pass, the state would require duplexes to be by right. So this is more generous than our current bylaw, but more restrictive than what the state is trying to propose. But we don't know, and I actually asked Jay Tellerman this afternoon if he had an idea of the timeline with the state bill, and he has no idea. So hard to say.
No, and I think it's a good idea to take a kind of a stab at it. I'm not sure, you never know, a town meeting, right? But I think it's good to have a healthy debate. Hopefully it's a step toward what the state is looking to do. So I just commend you guys for doing this. My questions, I think Doris said, is mainly around the definition, and I had some thoughts about the overlaps with ADU. So thanks for clarifying that. Thank you.
Thanks, Debbie.
That was a lot of my questions.
Okay.
Well, I'm not gonna go to the microphone, I got a
No,
bad
no
neck.
Socratic method here, you can't just
just-
call on them.
If I could come to here.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I just can't, I need to sit these days.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
That's fine.
That works.
Either one works.
Okay, this one works. I just came mostly, I'm Ray Hokinson, 10 Main Street. And I own the property next door, just for FYI, 12 Main Street as well. And I just, I've been involved in zoning issues related to the village center. And I was just when I hear of changes to property structures, et cetera, I just panic. Okay, so I'm, glad to hear that this seems to be townwide, statewide, as opposed to, we're just gonna plop all this down in the village center.
Right.
So that's usually my reaction point. And so that's why I was just gonna follow up on all the details. So the fact that it also seems to be statewide, it's sort of, okay, I guess,
Yeah,
it's gonna come anyway.
right.
And I read what was online, and it was pretty sparse. So I figured I'd come and see what was here, okay?
Yeah.
And I've learned a little bit here.
Yeah, good. Oh, I think we all benefit from more questions and more debate rather than, I think we've all experienced the town hall
And
modifications.
just going to town meeting, some of the issues on definitions, the way things are better clearly defined at that point, it'll have, and the fact that it's townwide and it's gonna come eventually.
Right.
And this is sort of a preemptive step.
Right.
That would also help town meeting type.
Okay,
So that was just my reason for showing up.
okay. All right, well, thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
I think everybody would benefit from having a really clear definition. What do we mean by two-family? What do we mean by ADU? I think we probably have some concepts of what that is, but it really is a matter of not being sort of colloquial about it, but like, what is the legal definition? What makes something
And maybe even
two-family?
townhouse and duplex and,
Like, those don't
that
sound
came
like
up.
legal terms to me. They sound like style homes.
yeah, I guess that's true, but I don't know, I understood what
Yeah.
Deb was saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as
Well,
those
it's-
things can be defined
yeah.
as well. I think, the more clarity you have on what
Right.
exactly it means, the easier any board will have, or building commissioner will have to handle, such things, so. Okay. Do we have anybody online who wants to join in the forum?
I have 4 people online, but no hands raised.
Okay,
David,
go ahead, Doris.
in the ADU, when the legislature defined an ADU, it's so broad sounding. It's not for this particular change, but it's very, very broad. Living quarters or single-family dwelling, and what is that? Is that and then it does some exclusion. Sometimes maybe the approach is excluding, but that's maybe handled better with short-term rentals. What is it not? Is it not a short-term rental? So you'll see it's not a trailer home.
Mhm.
A duplex is not a trailer home.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, I thought it was very broad when it came out with what an ADU comes from. It's a single-family dwelling, Laura?
Yeah, and it has to be accessory too, and I think that's the big distinction is,
Right.
a duplex is almost, and I hesitate to say
Okay.
this because I don't want it to be taken literally, but it's almost like 2 principal dwellings together versus an ADU, which is 1 principal dwelling and an accessory one. So I know that
It's an apartment.
it doesn't really clear it up, but there is a distinction.
But it is, I
Yeah.
think that is sort of a common thought, is that exactly what you described. The duplex would be 2 somewhat equal houses that are somehow on the same property
Yeah.
versus something that's accessory, more like, more, and obviously smaller. So,
Yeah. I am
Yeah,
happy
and
to get the definitions,
Okay.
both from the state and the building code. And what I'll do is I will post those on the website that we
Okay.
set up too for all this information. So I'll update the website with anything that I found out, that was raised tonight.
So just to inform the public, what do we actually have across other boards for public hearings on the two-family? Because as we said, it was at the selectmen. It will be with the planning board on Monday, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah,
On
so the
17th, yeah.
17th.
And I think it looks like you've got it, I know it's not first on the agenda, because I looked at it, and said, oh, that might be a problem for me, because I know what you say you're gonna get to at 6:30, and you'll still be talking about it at 7:30. But, I think it's useful for people who are interested in it, just to know there are multiple places to attend and have that discussion,
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. So just,
Discussion item at the planning board, they haven't scheduled the hearing yet.
yes, yeah, the hearing will be scheduled
Okay.
for, I just had it written down. I've been working with Karina, we're gonna get the stuff over for the legal ad. So discussion item on Monday, the 17th, which is coming up. The public hearing will open September 14th, will be again September 28th. And then in between that, we have our meeting September 16th. So between now and town meeting, we will have 4 meetings
Okay.
between us and ZBA where the public can come in and discuss.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, I just think, I know we've heard a few times about how, well, I didn't know about it. And I think it always helps to communicate as much as we can about that, so that give people all the opportunities they need to attend. Okay.
And then too, I just want to offer, if anybody has other questions in the meantime, just reach out and I'd be happy to help with that.
All right, so I think we have any more questions on the public forum. And if that's the case, we've actually addressed every other element
Paul's getting
on the other
excited.
business. I think
I told Paul, I could feel Paul's.
Paul's
Paul's ready to go.
his gravity is taking over the room here. Yep.
Oh, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
All right, motion to adjourn has been made with a second. All in favor, respond with aye. Opposed, nay. Doris?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
And Williams? Aye. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for coming.